What's up, guys? My name is Kyle, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to have near perfect email deliverability in 2025. It's pretty easy if you just follow these steps, and I'll kind of dive into some of the tools and stuff that I use to actually achieve near perfect email deliverability. So let's hop right in. Alrighty, guys, so we are in. So the first step in this process is to warm your inboxes for 2 to 3 weeks minimum before sending any cold emails. So hopping into our tool. Okay, so instantly what you do is you go to email accounts, and you'll have all your inboxes in here. Okay. Now to begin the warm up process, all you have to do is press warm up right here. And you just keep that going forever. Never shut that off, okay? Now we'll kind of go into some of the settings. As you see, our warm ups are ramping up on these inboxes, and we started this warm up 14 days ago. Now you want the warm up to go for 14 to 21 days before you start sending cold emails. Okay. Now the settings. So we'll kind of come into this later, but for daily campaign limit, I do anywhere from 15 to 20. And then time between, I set this to 5. And then I also enable slow ramp up. Okay. But kind of going into the warm-up settings stuff is I set the ramp up for warm emails to 2 a day, which means on the first day of warm-up, we're sending 2 emails a day per inbox. The next day it will be 4. The next day it will be 6. The next day it will be 8, all the way up until we hit that 25 warm emails a day. Okay, or actually in this case 30. So you set the max amount you want it to ramp up to, and then the increase per day till it hits that ramp up limit. Now, this doesn't matter too much. I usually will, it doesn't matter too much as long as you set it in a range between 65 and like 95%. I don't usually do 100 because you want it to look realistic to the email service providers. If you have a 100% reply rate in all your emails, when you start sending cold emails and you don't get a 100% reply rate, you're more likely to kind of mark off something suspicious to the email service providers like Google. So I usually just keep it at 65, or I'll just put a random number like 83. Now for advanced settings, if you're sending cold emails on the weekend, I would enable this. If you're not, you don't need to. Read emulation. So instantly it's going to spend time and scroll through your warm-up emails to emulate human-like reading. So the warm-up pool works like this. So there's other users who use Instantly, right? They're also turning on warm-up settings for their inboxes. So they'll send you emails, you'll send them emails, and Instantly is going to manage that whole process with their software for you. So they're going to open up your emails for on the other account. So if there's me, right, Kyle, and there's Johnny. I'm going to send emails over to Johnny, and then Johnny is going to open up those emails. He's going to spend time reading through them and stuff like that to make it look real to Google. The thing is, Instantly is doing all this for us, so we don't have to do it. Okay, it's going to open up emails. It's going to spend time reading them and stuff like that. It's going to mark them as important. It'll take them out of the spam folder if they go in the spam folder and stuff like that. So usually I'll set this one to like 90 and then open rate somewhere right there. So that's warm-up settings. That's everything you need to know for warming up your inboxes. So yeah, ramp up in the cold emails, which I talked about right here. So what this means is when you start sending cold emails after 14 to 21 days, you're not going to start sending 20 cold emails a day off the bat. You're going to ramp it up, same thing. So like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, over the next week or two until you get to 20 cold emails a day. Okay, so ramp up cold more emails. Send 50 emails most a day per inbox. So 20 cold, 30 warm. So 20 cold right here. And then 30 warm. So 50 emails a day most per inbox. Okay, next I have about 2 to 3 inboxes per domain. So if we come out here, this is an inbox, right? So I have another inbox, ryan.dixon@vroommail.com. So this is ryan.dixon@vroommail.com, and I have ryan.dixon@vroommail.com. That's two inboxes per domain. We don't want to go anything over that. Or, it's just more likely to cause domain reputation by having a lot of inboxes sending cold emails on one domain. If the domain gets destroyed, all the inboxes get destroyed. Okay. Now, each month, rotate current inboxes out to warm up back for a month minimum. Okay, that sounded really confusing the way I just said that. But so basically, let's say you have 100 inboxes. You should only have 50 sending cold emails at a time. And then they're going to be sending cold emails for about a month. After a month, you switch them. So now these 50 are going to be sending cold emails. These are going to be chilling out, just warming up, recovering. Every month, you're going to switch them. Okay. Always did that one. Every month, buy more domains. So you will have domains, even though you do everything right, you will have domains that do get burnt and aren't really delivering right. So to just constantly be like buying domains, like every single month, buy another domain or 2 domains, and just keep replacing your infrastructure and also building it up, right? And if you don't need it, just keep them warming up, right? Just keep them warming up. Now, you have automations to stop inboxes at a 4% bounce rate. So I believe I'm going to hop into my settings and I'll show you where this is at in a second. All right, guys. So if you go to settings and then you go to preferences, if you go down to automatically pause campaigns with high bounce rates, just make sure you turn it on. So if you have high bounce rates, your emails start bouncing, then it will automatically stop your campaign. So bounce rates are basically the enemy of email domain and inbox reputation. If you start having a lot of bounces, your domain reputation and inboxes will be destroyed, and you'll either have to buy new inboxes and domains or let them warm up for months. Okay, so make sure you turn that on. Let's see if we have anything else in here we need you guys to know about. These are just kind of my settings I use. But no, that's pretty much it, guys. You don't need to worry about anything else in here. But if you want to see what I turn on and turn off, there you go. All right, so next thing, switch to better data providers for verifying emails. So I use Lead Magic, and I use Lead Magic, Instantly, Bounce Ban, Prospero, and Million Verifier. So for this and ICPs. So the first step is I try to find the email with ICPs. The reason is the cheapest. The next one I'll use Lead Magic. It's the second cheapest, and then Prospero. Okay, and if those can't find it, if those can find it but they can't validate it, I will use Million Verifier because it's super cheap. And then let's say we validated all the emails right, but now we have all these catch-alls that we haven't been able to basically validate yet. I will use Instantly and Bounce Ban to validate the catch-alls. So not all these email verifier tools can verify catch-all emails. Okay, so I will use Instantly and Bounce Ban for that. Okay, now confirm your DNS records are properly set up. So you want to make sure your SPF record is set up, your DKIM record, and your DMARC record. So how you do this is you go to inboxes and you pressed test domain setup. So there was 9 with no SPF record found. So if you set these up yourself, you go to your domain settings, you set up your SPF records. If you bought them from a provider like Scale Mail, you hit them up and you tell them, hey, my records aren't set up right. I need you guys to fix them. So yes, that's simple. Just test it out and it'll tell you what's missing for each one. Okay. Now, AI spam check email sequences. Okay, so I'm gonna hop into a sequence and kind of show you what this looks like. Okay, guys, so this is what the AI spam checker basically looks like. So essentially, if you have any spam words in your copywriting, it's gonna let you know. So it's saying switch out pay with compensate. Now, as long as you have like one word or less, it doesn't really matter too much. But there's like, there's some big ones like free and stuff like that you don't want to have in there. But yeah, it's just good to do. Write out your copy and then, spam check it, right? Now the next one is Spintax on this list. It's right here, Spintax. So what Spintax is it's this thing you see right here. So basically it's creating random combinations of what your email is. So you don't want every email you send to be the exact same email, or the email service providers will see that you're sending 10,000, the same exact email, and then mark your emails as spam. So this creates combinations. So for example, it might be, hey, first name, hi, first name, hello, first name, right? It'll pick one of those at random. Now the key is you want to do this with pretty much every single sentence in your email. So you have like 50 or 60 different combinations of emails, right, that could happen at random. So the more combinations, right, the less likely you are to have the same email. So for example, there's another one right here, another one right here, another one right here. So you want to do it in every single pretty much sentence to kind of switch it up, right? So that's spin text. And lastly, no images or links in the first email. So this is why we don't track open rates anymore in 2025, is because tracking open rates is basically a 1x1 pixel, and every time that image is loaded, it tracks your open rate, right? So Google and Outlook have kind of caught on to that. So, open tracking no longer really works. And if you have images in your first cold email, yeah, you're most likely going to go to spam. Like your deliverability will probably be cut in half, right? Same thing with links. If you have links in your first email, deliverability will be probably cut by half, and like half as many emails will go out. So I recommend, if you are going to have a link or an image, you do it in the last email of your sequence. And now lastly, do daily placement test inside of instantly.ai. So you can do daily placement tests. Just basically just make sure your deliverability is good and that your copy is good, right? But that's it, guys. That's everything you need to know about email deliverability. It's not too crazy. You just got to make sure you do everything right, because if you don't do it right, then you won't actually make it into the inbox, and everything you do is kind of pointless. But that's it for now. I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to reach out. And if you have any video suggestions, just put them in the comments. But that is it for now. Have a nice